I was making around 800 phone calls a month to dealers trying to say, hey, last month I spoke to you, you said that this would happen, but don't you know social change? And I was selling that tractor through Chum. I was definitely not selling that tractor through anything else. After I left that role, the volumes of that tractor fell from, I never hit my target. My target was 20,000. I only got to 15,000, but the volume of the tractor fell thereafter. And then I realized that I was doing a good job. But all through that time, I didn't think that I was doing any good.
What exactly was your role there? I mean, as somebody who was interested forever in your life, and as you mentioned that you were the oddball out, right? What was the responsibility given to you, and how good or bad were you doing while you were selling these tractors?
I thought I was doing very badly for a very long time. It was my responsibility to sell this tractor called Yuvraj 215. It was on my KRA, but selling this particular tractor was not on anybody else's KRA. Other people would have, a Maharashtra sales target, which was a lot of other tractors. The tractor was also more difficult to sell than other tractors because a dealer margin would be 5,000 rupees on this tractor and 50,000 rupees on a larger tractor, which was easier to sell because people knew what it was about. I was really trying to pull a very large load by myself, not realizing why it was not happening. Ultimately, I spent, by the time the fourth year I was doing that job, I was making around 800 phone calls a month to dealers trying to say, hey, last month I spoke to you, you said that this would happen, but don't you know social change? And I was selling that tractor through Chum. I was definitely not selling that tractor through anything else. Making friendships and trying to get that out there. After I left that role, the volumes of that tractor fell from, I never hit my target. My target was 20,000. I only got to 15,000, but the volume of the tractor fell thereafter. And then I realized that I was doing a good job. But all through that time, I didn't think that I was doing any good. And thereafter, I got handpicked into and moved on to other things because that experience was so valuable, not only to Mahindra, but through a lot of social organizations that I've had to coach through their difficult times as well.
You said that you were handpicked from there, and you must have been landed in something else that Mahindra was doing. What did they decide that you will be a fit for right now with the scheme of things? And did you also say that देखो मुझे सिर्फ कंप्यूटर के पीछे बैठ के काम नहीं करना है, मुझे फिल्में भी बनानी है, थिएटर भी करना है?
No, I never told them that. I did do that on the side. I
now
never,
they know it.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think they object to that at all. And good employers will not object to you following your dreams, whether your dreams are in your office or whether your dreams are outside your office. So you should always seek that out. And if they're not giving that to you, there's something wrong. The next thing after tractors is they put me in something called Innovation Cell. And the Innovation Cell was this IDEO-like lab. I don't know if anybody's heard of the company IDEO, Design Thinking, are these ringing any bells? So a learning for me, back when I was perhaps in college, design thinking wasn't the thing. And the way that the world is moving, you are going to experience a technology, probably be in charge of a technology that isn't the thing when you are studying. Instead of thinking, hey, I never applied anything in my engineering degree that is useful now, think about the ways that you learned how to think in your engineering degree and whether that can be brought forward later, getting to the fundamentals of things. And whether it's engineering or whether it's filmmaking, it's all the same. I was put in charge of making new products or services for the auto, farm equipment, and the agricultural sector, representing the consumer vertical. So what I was mostly doing is, going out and getting insights from people and trying to convert that into products and services. Many P's of marketing, I think there's some 12 or 15 P's of marketing that there are right now. Very few marketing courses say that, hey, product is very much your domain. So as the marketer, you are responsible for making sure that that product that the company is creating is something that the consumer wants. And that was something that I was doing, and it was very exciting because I was reviewing MIT graduates having no engineering training myself, but getting into the brass roots of how a cotton picker might work, for example.
What were some of the challenges that you faced during this time? You mentioned that a lot of things that you were doing was for the first time that you were doing, right? And these, as you mentioned, the P's, they have become 12, 15, I don't know. they grow faster than the amoebas, I think. So, how do you cope with that? The changing patterns in even, say, for example, marketing or marketing communications. How do you deal with that, and what sort of challenges were you facing at that time?
I would say this: you are going to be learning how to learn fast, and that's definitely a core skill. Something that they don't teach you is to rely on other people who can probably know their subject matter better than you and gain from them. But that's definitely a skill that you should pick up. There will be people from different backgrounds who will be better at certain subjects than you, and your ability to gain knowledge from A, them academically, and B, their experiences will broaden you. I learned to trust other people, to give them responsibility and a target to deliver, and a motivation for other people, because I was not the best engineer out there. I wasn't an engineer at all. Yet I had to get into something quite hardcore. Later on, I realized, so my next job was handling the corporate brand of Mahindra, and much of that was dealing with the social media space, and we were churning out a great deal of content with my mass communication degree helped again. If you don't trust the editor, if you don't give the editor empowerment to make the right choices, or if you don't trust the person who is creating the social media posts, and you're looking over their shoulder, and somebody else is looking over your shoulder, and somebody else is looking over their shoulder, you're not going to respond fast enough to at least social media posts for sure. So there is a tendency to control, especially when you're getting more and more senior. I think to relinquish that control and trust people is very important, and to give them guidance on what the right way is. You're not going to be 100% correct in every decision that you make in any case, but you want to optimize the right decisions to an 80%. And let's just take the example of social media, which it's fairly easy to understand. If I review at the end of the week, hey, these are the social media posts that went out, and these are the 2 or 3 things that I think we could have done better, that allows the person to learn and therefore make those choices correctly themselves, as opposed to before the social media post goes out, I always say, hey, you know this, hey, you know that, and they're going to tend to, okay, let me check with Ronan before I'm going to put that social media post out, because I'm sure he's going to have a better idea, and their thinking process is therefore going to switch off, and you're also going to be less nimble as a result, and you're suddenly this bottleneck to all the decisions that are being made. That is going to be very important when you're doing your exercises together as teams. You're going to be 5 people with very different strengths, and some people are going to be weak among you, and some people are going to be stronger among you, and it's important to give everybody, whether they're strong or weak, something that they can reach up to achieve that is going to be useful for them. And that leadership lesson is something that they don't usually instruct you towards, but will be very helpful. And if it will create more free time, assuming you are the smartest person in that group, it will create so much more free time for you to delve yourself into the things that are important to you.
Superb. Lovely advice, Ronan, because, we all deal with this whole problem that we all have in a lot of corporates, and that is micromanaging, right? And we need to get beyond that in order to scale our own organizations.